Time management isn't really about doing more. It's about doing less, but making it count. I'm Abby Johnson, and after working with entrepreneurs from $0 in revenue all the way up to over 15 million in revenue, I have found that every successful business owner has at least 4 systems in place. In this video, I'm breaking down those systems so that you can multiply your results instead of multiplying your hours. Working more hours doesn't necessarily mean you are going to be successful. What I commonly see is people working on the wrong things. Typically, people are focused on perfection, but the truth is you can be successful in a 40-hour or less work week, but you have to make sure that you're working on the right things that are actually going to move the needle and move your business forward. This is what we call leverage. I had a client once who spent $30,000 or $40,000 on a new website. She was perfecting everything around her brand. She was using templates from HubSpot for her sales team, but was worried that her website was wrong. Those priorities are not correct. If you actually took time to write proper sales copy in your sales emails, that's going to be more leverage. That's going to get you more of a result. Meanwhile, my most successful clients are the ones who hit the ground running. They are implementing, they are moving, they are doing the action steps that we have talked about. Those are the ones that are actually growing. And usually those ones are the ones who are actually working less than her because they are not hesitating, they are taking action, and they have the proper systems in place to support growth. So we all know the term return on investment. I want you to think about this with your time. What is the return on your time investment? I order our groceries and get them delivered. So I could go to the store and do our grocery shopping, but that is about an hour and a half of my time that I could be spending somewhere else. This is also great when you're evaluating spending money in your business. Are you going to sit there tinkering with a spreadsheet, tinkering with a new software, or you could go hire someone on Upwork for $10 an hour to do it for you, and it took you $20 to pay someone else to do this for you. Whereas with that 2 hours of you trying to perfect a spreadsheet, you could be doing something more high worth. So the first system that you need to have in place that's going to help you save time is a financial system. Most business owners are waiting until at least the 15th of the month to get their prior month statement from their bookkeeper. Then once they do get the numbers, they have to sit there and hem and haw to try to decide what purchases to make. This is why having an easy cash flow system is so important to your business's growth. We use the Profit First cash management system. You have these different bank accounts that essentially are different buckets for your money, and you take your profit first in that you are setting aside for it in these buckets. So all of your money goes into this one income account and stays away from your expense account. When you're ready to allocate this money on a set rhythm that you have chosen, you then put a percentage into a profit account. You then put a set percentage into owner's pay. Then you set aside for taxes. And then the last account that gets allocated to is the operating expense account. Now, there's a lot of benefits to managing your money this way, but when we're talking about time, first of all, this takes 5 minutes to do. It does not take a lot of time. And then what's great is you see these different buckets and what money you can spend. You see, my salary is covered. That's a relief off your shoulders. You know your taxes are covered. That's also a weight off your shoulders. You know you're actually profitable. You know you're going to be getting a bonus at the end of the quarter. And then finally, this is what you can spend. You're not waiting for your accountant or bookkeeper to send you a statement. Now you just look in your bank account and see, this is what I've got to invest in the business this week. The next system you need is your marketing and sales system. Yes, you should have a system for this. This is something that should just be running and has set steps that just keep happening. Let's say you have an ad. Someone sees your ad online, then they have to fill out an online form with their information. Then that goes to a sales guy who then calls them. Then he sends them a quote for their work, and then they accept the quote and you make money. So you need to have a flow of what happens when a lead reaches out to you, and also how you even get that lead in the first place. So for this ad part, you want to have some sort of ad system. So is that an online funnel? Is that just a simple Google ad or Google listing? Whatever it may be, that's where it all starts. And then you need to know what happens from the time they click on that ad or first hear about your business. Once you have this rhythm down, it's just about pulling levers to optimize each step. And then of course, these steps need to be be other people in the business that aren't you. If you're still the sales guy that all of the forms are coming to and you're reaching out to every lead yourself, of course you're going to have to work endlessly. This needs to be a system that doesn't depend on you. You need to hire the right people to put in the positions while also having the right automations and software and such in place for this marketing and sales system. If you're serious about managing your time like the most successful entrepreneurs out there, my team has freed up their time on their calendars to take more profit assessments this month. During these profit assessments, we not only talk about your finances and the profit leaks there, but what are the time leaks? Where are you overspending your time? And how can you get 10 plus hours back in a week? This call is completely free, but spots are limited, so click the link below to secure your spot today. Next is a delivery system. So it's that same concept as the marketing system, but what happens to actually deliver your product or service? Okay, so again, a super simplified example of a delivery system is someone pays you money, and then the first step is to get them on a Zoom call for onboarding. They get QuickBooks access to the bookkeeper. The bookkeeper can ask any questions that are needed, how their business is set up, etc. Then they have another call to go over findings and what happened and what fixes happened and where the person stands. And then they're put into a project management software and set up for recurring services. Once you map this out, it's so much easier to just have a smooth process that happens every time instead of, okay, we've got a new client, maybe you can deliver to them and just go get started, right? There are set steps that happen now. And again, if you want to be building the business out of the day-to-day, you need to not be involved in these steps. You need a process with people and softwares that don't involve you. Okay, and then finally, you need some sort of management system. This usually looks like having key metrics and KPIs that are assigned to each employee so you can see what's going on in every area of the business. Now you know who needs help, what's working, what's not working, and you can manage from a zoomed out vision. Instead of being down in the trenches day to day, you can be up in the helicopter and look down and say, hey, help is needed over there. What's going on over here? Hey, that's great. This area is doing well. Let's keep doing that and let's reward them even more, whatever it is. This also means some sort of meeting cadence, some sort of regular meetings. So it was a really interesting shift for me when I moved from being an employee to being an owner or founder in that role. Once I became more of the founder, starting the business with my dad, my mind was on everything: marketing, sales, delivery, management, growth, R&D. There was just so much going on and I was forgetting to do things. So for me, the system that works is having something like Asana. I love Asana, and that is my brain now. I just put everything I need to do in one place and I can sit down for the day and know these are the things I need to get done for the day. And my own personal policy is that when something is asked of me, like one of my team members needs something for me or I need to contribute to a project, it goes in Asana right away. A lack of having these systems in place is a huge reason why delegation usually fails. Usually a task is just dumped onto a person and there's no clear path or system of how to achieve the end result required of that task. This ends up with them coming to you constantly, asking questions, maybe asking the same questions again because maybe you're giving different answers each time. So as the leader, you have to have set systems in every area so that you can properly delegate and get it off your plate. In order to properly delegate, it's really a simple 3-step process. First, you need to properly document the task and the outcome associated to that task. Then you train the person thoroughly. This means having them watch you do the task, then you watch them do the task, then they can go do it on their own. And thirdly, you have accountability for the tasks and the role by having proper metrics in place to make sure that things are being done to the standard required of the business. A real simple example of this is sales. So you have a new salesperson and maybe they already know how to sell, but they need to learn your process, your product or service, your marketing and sales system. Then once they're actually on the phone selling, you can be looking at, okay, how many dials lead to a call? How many calls lead to a proposal? How many proposals lead to a close? And you look at those percentages and you can see if they are up to your expectations for the business. So instead of wasting your time training them over and over and over, you can see what are the actual spots that they need help with. All right, if you really want to get your time back, you can start tomorrow. The first thing you can do is just start tracking your tasks and where your time is going currently. You can do this through softwares. I've done this through a software called Toggle before. You can also just do this manually. Just get a piece of paper, have it by you during the week, and just write down what is going on throughout your week. Write down what you're doing and for how long. Then you're able to identify the highest value tasks. So marketing strategy, future planning, financial meeting, those sorts of things are going to be higher value than doing your own bookkeeping or posting your own social media posts or newsletters or whatever that may be. So with those lower value tasks, there are ways that you can either automate that task or at least create a repeatable system for when you go to do it. Ultimately, the goal will be to get those $10 tasks off your plate so that you can be working on the $1,000 tasks. Here's the truth. Successful entrepreneurs aren't successful just because they work harder. They're successful because they focus their time on the tasks that are going to generate the most revenue for their business. If you're ready to build those systems for your business, book a call with my team at the link below. We'll help design a plan for you that helps you work less but grow faster. I'll see you in the next video.